All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to the Shadow the Script podcast. I'm your host, Jared May. Dude, I am so excited to have, this is our second guest appearance, but childhood best friend, Jay Mondick is in the house. Now, a little preview before we get back and forth action going. We did the first guest interview and we had a disclaimer with the audio. This time, we checked this thing like a dozen times before we started. And we had been anticipating this. We've been talking about this for probably close to a year and a half since, since this thing started. And I was like, hey, I think it's time. Like, let's get this show on the road and get an interview scheduled. So right on Memorial Day weekend, happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Jay, how you doing?
Good. It's Friday. We're on the set, ready to take off.
That's right. Dude, like I said, I'm so excited. We got a lot of fun topics, but a little introduction. So if you guys aren't aware, we are childhood best friends. So we did everything growing up together. I mean, not everything. We did everything growing up together. It was, golf, even though back then when I was terrible at it, we played sports in high school together. But yeah, dude, we started out in kindergarten. You were, I think, a year older than me. So you were with the analyst, Ryan.
Correct.
Yeah. And so we went through Legacy together, the private Christian school over in Magnolia. And then played football, and then we went our separate ways into college, and then reconnected back when I was at A&M. And then now we just been playing golf every single weekend, talking ball, playing each other in college football 25. And then if you guys weren't aware as well, Jay was on the Challenge the Script episode. It was Oregon versus what was it?
Ohio State.
And we're not gonna go into the score or anything, but
it's an off day.
But I will say, here's your chance, man. Like you in college football 25 and me when we're playing each other. I mean, when we were growing up and to this day, I am sweating my ass off trying to play you.
Yeah, it's always, I'd say over the course of us playing, Madden was always, NCAA was gone for a long time. Madden, I don't know. It's always something. It seems like it's always something that happens when we play. Some kind of cheese or some kind of, it's holding, or something. And I hate that because it's like, it just changes the game.
Yeah.
But here lately, we've been going back and forth.
Yeah, and you'll hear me. I get heated too.
You'll go quiet.
Yeah, dude. There's one time I think I muted from second quarter till overtime. And I was sweating out. I mean, I think you got an onside kick at the end too, and I just couldn't believe it. I
almost came back.
Yeah.
Dude,
when I beat you, it's establishing the run game. Yeah.
Every time. You had like 300 yards with Jayden Ott.
Yeah. Shout out California. The Gildan Bears.
Virginia Tech.
That's right. All right. Yeah, dude. So we've got a couple of topics that we talked about off the record that we were going to bring up. A little bit of Oklahoma Sooners action. We talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, Israel Hamas. Yeah. No, but the flag football going into the Olympics, the tush push might be banned. GTA 6.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one, dude, because I was never really into we'll start with this because honestly, I'm excited to talk about it. I was never really into GTA growing up. I was with my parents. Like they didn't really let me play any of those games when I was growing up, and until I got into college and COVID hit and Red Dead came along. And brother, Red Dead is the best game I've played in my lifetime. I don't think you really got into it that much. But.
I played Red Dead Revolver on the original Xbox.
Undead.
Yeah. And that was probably the most Red Dead I ever played. But whenever Red Dead and all that came out, I don't know. I didn't get on the wave. Kind of like GTA.
Yeah. I mean, with GTA, I think you got me into the green versus purple gang.
Green gang?
Yeah, green gang. Just pull up the people with bats and just smack the crap out of them.
Oh, yeah. Full on turf war.
Dude, I think with this new one, I know they've delayed it. We thought that, Jesus was going to return to the earth before this game ever comes out, which it still could happen, right? But nothing's out of the question. I've seen a bunch of memes where it's like the game's about to come out and then something terrifying happens.
Right. Something funny with that. So I played a little bit of GTA 4. Now it was because at my grandparents' believe it or not, because like my parents wouldn't let me play that game either. But my grandma had it for some reason. It's like one of those bundles, like you buy a console and it comes with games. So I would play it at her house, and I thought it was so badass because I was playing it. And then when GTA 5 came out, if you went to GameStop, I don't know if they still do that, but they asked for your ID to see how old you are if you can buy a rated M game.
Yeah.
So I was like, crap, I can't go to GameStop. So I was like 15 or 16 at the time. It came out in like 2014 or 15.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And one of my friends that lived down the street from me at the time, his name was Hunter.
Yeah.
And I remember he called me. He's like, bro, if you go to Target at this street, they don't card you for the game. I was like, are we buying cigarettes?
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. It was like when I went in and bought the game, without asking my mom or having to pull up my ID, I was like, it's like that song, I'm the Man.
Yeah. Move this whole dang table over. Yeah, dude. And it was like, what my grandparents let me play was Marvel Ultimate. That was, they had a PS2, and occasionally we'd go to the lake house and and they had Battlefront too. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That'll do for now. But I never into the big time GTA like playing and whatnot, just because I wasn't allowed to. But when I went over to your house, we were playing GTA and stuff, and hey, you can do this in this game, and I'm like, what? This is nuts! Like,
nuts.
I'd barely made it through Mark in the New Testament.
Trailer for GTA 6?
Yeah, dude, I thought it was nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, they spent a lot of money on gravity. Seeing like the first cut of that girl's ass when she's walking. I mean, you can only imagine how much money they put into the physics of the jiggle. Like,
yeah, dude. Well, think about it this way: the guy that's actually making it, what do you think he feels when he's like out there actually orchestrating the shape of,
Yeah, it's got to feel weird.
And when he's animating the twerk, or whatever.
Yeah. This is perfect.
This is exact. It's like that guy that uses the goggles. He's like, Jarvis, make her, make her hung or whatever. Give her a tail.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Crazy shot. Opening just her walking. And the beer and the bubbles and stuff.
Yeah,
Or
dude.
the bubbles in the beer.
Yeah.
Say.
The carbonation.
Yeah.
Dude, I guess, what are you excited for with the game itself? Because like compared to the last one, have you seen like any? Oh yeah, you mentioned the Drake album, or the Drake piece that might be on the radio or whatever.
He's gonna have his own radio station in the game. Like,
that's nuts. Driving with OVO? Come on.
Yeah,
gotta buy it now.
Have some late nights driving on the highway.
Yeah,
you know how I am with cars.
Yeah,
that'll be me. No one's on the game. Put on some Drake.
Yeah,
Marvin's Room. Be a vibe, but. I'm excited. I'm a big like the graphics.
Yeah,
like it looks. If you look at them side by side, I've seen videos of that. It's night and day.
Yeah.
So that, and then the map's supposed to be way bigger too. And I mean, we've had this same game for so long. Like, I'm not a big story guy.
Yeah.
But the online part is a ton of fun. Hopefully, they bring back heists, stuff like that. Like
yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I've seen like a cool crossover, like the music in GTA is going to be sick because, and that's a vibe. I've seen some like, they use those PCs to like upgrade the graphics, and they're driving at night and you can see the reflection of the city on the cars and whatnot. And you're just, think about it this way, put a POV, you just got your heart broken by, yet another woman, and you're sitting there. It's like 2 a.m. on a Saturday. You don't want to go out. You just want to stay at home. You got some beer on the top there. You got, your zen if you zen and that kind of thing, and you just got this music enhanced on your headphones, and no one's bothering you, kept to yourself. You're not even depressed. You're just like, this is a vibe. Like this feels nice.
You're painting a picture. You should be a writer. No, it'll be a great game. I mean, I don't think Rockstar's ever made a bad game.
Yeah,
and I think it's because they're okay with delaying it.
Yeah,
like we talked about this the other day, like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like they rushed it. It came out. I played it. It was just broken.
Yeah.
And then they fixed it or whatever, like 6 months to a year later, and it's like, well, the game's already done.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah. And my oldest brother played it, and he said the same exact thing. He was like, dude, the trailers were so exploitive with the graphics and what all you can do. You can do character customizations and whatnot. I'm like, dude, what is that game? The Elden Ring was better than than Cyberpunk. But what I saw with GTA 6 was, and it's a conspiracy theory, but Red Dead Redemption 2 featured obviously Arthur Morgan and then his love interest, I believe Mary was her name. And if you look at the characters in the GTA 6 game, they're awfully similar to Arthur and Mary. So they think it's in the same universe as Red Dead Redemption. And so they like put a side by side with their pictures and whatnot. I don't even know why it's giving me goosebumps. I'm not even that attached to the game. But anyway, I guess it's because Arthur Morgan's story is one of the most impactful video game stories I've ever played. However, they're saying that there could be some, like, along with the side characters, like the gun shop owner, a couple of the street guys that you would encounter, and it's all very, very similar to the group of gang in the Dutch Vanderlyn gang of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I wonder if it's in the same universe, for one. I wonder if it'll have the same kind of betrayal atmosphere story, and if it's, I'm assuming a lot of it's going to be, on the run. But have you heard any interesting like aspects from the GTA game?
I saw something that said it was going to be kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel, which, I mean, makes sense. It looked like he was busting her out of prison in the beginning or something like that. So I think, GTA 5, you're able to play as 3 different characters: Michael, Trevor. Trevor was the redneck psycho, and then Franklin. Like, all different backgrounds. Like, Michael was some rich dude. Trevor, redneck, and then Franklin lived in the hood.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you'll be able to play both again.
Right.
Have that Bonnie and Clyde feel.
Yeah. I think it'd be. I mean, I honestly, I can't wait. I'm probably going to purchase it. I was literally in the atmosphere of, I don't want to buy another video game because I'm straight up Rocket League and Battlefield 1, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah. And occasionally College Football 25 in season. But, it's a good escape in the evenings, just to kind of kick back and laugh with the boys. Obviously we talked a little bit about it with the Turner and Chad interview. But, I guess, is there anything with GTA 6 that, I mean, our monitors are probably going to support it, I would imagine.
Yeah, 100%.
I saw a lot of people that, like, it wouldn't even work and people were getting pissed or something like that. You have to, PS4 owners and things like that.
Xbox One.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
it's time to upgrade.
You got to go.
For a while. I think they said the game might be $100.
Yeah, I would believe it. And it's probably worth the $100.
100%. I mean, you look at GTA 5, they've still continually added updates for online.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a game that goes on for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, have you seen all this, like, and I know this wasn't one of the topics that we were going to bring up, but have you seen all this, like, WNBA stuff, like, off of Game 1?
Yes.
I don't even know if I really want to talk about it. It literally has just been on my mind, and I hate that it is, but it's just baffling to me that, a basketball foul turns into nonsense. But, like, are you is that thunder?
Thunder?
Oh mid podcast, it just blows up. Yeah.
EMP.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, were you a Caitlin Clark fan when she came into the league? Are you like a believer in, like, she revived the league, or is that it's good for the WNBA, or do you really just not even care? Like,
I mean,
there's no wrong answer.
I feel like it's so forced that you almost kind of have to have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think Caitlin Clark's great. I think she's what the WNBA needed.
Yeah.
Even though for whatever reason she's gotten a lot of hate. But yeah, I mean, she's exciting to watch. Like, I personally don't watch WNBA, but, like, sometimes if there's a highlight of her, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Because she's draining threes. And I think early on when she first played, she was kind of getting bullied around.
Yeah.
And not fairly, I think. Might be controversial, but
Yeah.
I think now she's kind of playing bully ball back. So, I mean, I think the WNBA, they're getting more views, they're getting more ratings. That's how they get an increase in revenue.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for the WNBA, even though maybe it's not the person they wanted to be the revival of the league or in the spotlight. But I think it's good for them, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, someone with a good credit score, But Caitlin, here's a good one. Do you think she's bad?
No.
Really?
No.
I've heard this, and me and my friends were talking about this because she came out with a fit. I think it was this morning I saw it, but I think it was yesterday, technically Thursday. That like when the fit she came out with, I sent it to my buddies, and I was like, "Hear me." I think she's a gorgeous girl. A little bit. I guess not so much in the facial features as I would hope. And what I was joking about, and I've heard this joke a couple of times, and it's stuck with me. I believe it was in Antonio AB. It was Antonio Brown that said it, and he said that she looks like Mel Gibson.
Jeez.
Yes. The face I've never really been able to get around. But then I remember I was like, well, The Patriot's my favorite movie, so I don't even need a bag. But that would work.
Dude, Haley Van Lith is the baddest.
Come on.
In the WNBA. There's one girl in I think it's Indiana Fever that I just saw. She's blonde. I don't remember her name.
I don't either.
She's been all over my TikTok here lately. And she's giving her a run for her money. But Haley Van Lith, watched her since LSU.
Yeah.
TCU. Yeah. On to the draft night. Yeah, I'm a fan. You're out
Me
there
too.
watching.
Yeah. Come on the show, for an in-person interview. Dude, yeah, the Sports Illustrated classic Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. She's quite a gorgeous woman. And I guess the new blonde chick on the Fever, got me getting a fever too, So, but honestly, you know me, I have not really been big into basketball since I guess the departure of Manny Ginobili and the big three over there in the Spurs with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and Patty Mills and Tiago Shredder. But you've always been a big LeBron guy. You've kind of followed him team to team, which honestly is a safer bet than picking most of the Houston teams in hindsight. It's 2020, because really it's been the Mavericks, and the Mavericks trade Luka away. They had that glorious run with Dirk, back in the day, and they beat your boys. Yeah. But my Spurs didn't. I think we did once, and then we lost.
That's when Kawhi was coming in.
Oh my God. Do you think LeBron feared Kawhi?
No.
Really?
I don't think LeBron's ever feared anyone.
Do you think like there's that famous clip of when Kawhi subs back in and LeBron's at the free throw line and he dang it, he's coming back in. And I don't think that was a fear thing, personally. And you know me, I'm not a big LeBron guy. I'm not a hater, but I've learned to level out my bias. But when that happened, I was like, that's a massive respect level. And I think
for sure.
I think that was at the time where the NBA still had, in my opinion, respect, where you played hard, you didn't really take games off, and you did all these things, and there wasn't like cheeky fouls or anything. It was fun to watch,
For sure. You didn't have James Harden, Steph Curry jumping in people drawing a foul from three.
Yeah.
Didn't have the double step back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch the NBA like that anymore.
Yeah.
I watch the playoffs, follow LeBron from time to time, just because I know once he retires, which will most likely be soon, the game's going to change. I'm probably not going to really watch it anymore. Maybe the finals or something. But I'm just trying to keep watching it, keep up with him while I still can. But no, back in like 2010s, talking about, where it was like, Thunder, the Clippers with Jamal Crawford, CP3, Blake Griffin,
DeAndre,
Pacers with Paul George, George Hill, and then of course Miami, the big three, the Spurs. I mean, that was really fun to watch.
I agree, and it's the infamous back out to Allen.
Won't go
back out to Allen for three, bang. That we always quote, and even and pretty much any video game that we've ever played, or even like if we're playing golf and it like hits the mound or whatever, blocked by James. We use that in pretty much anything. I still am a believer that LeBron is one of the best meme quality players in the league. Like there are so many hilarious memes with LeBron. Because he's kind of a cornball and accidentally.
Yeah.
Hit the rollies done with the rollie.
Yeah. Yep.
And the edits that they got with TikTok on him and whatnot. But I mean, honestly, LeBron, here's how I categorize the GOAT debate. If you want.
Oh boy.
Okay. I'm going to do my best here because you might know more than me. And my fans out there, a few of you guys, appreciate y'all, that watch the show, you guys know I don't really cover basketball. So a little disclaimer before I get started, but I think it's fun talk because we talked about this plenty of time. I think this is, because of course it's my opinion, but I think it's like the best, most fair evaluation of the two players between Michael Jordan and LeBron is Michael Jordan was the best player of his era, and LeBron is the best player of his current era. And basketball in the new age, you've been rewarded this ability to play for a longer period of time, and LeBron has taken great advantage of it, and he is now playing effectively until he's 40 and possibly beyond. And what I think about is, the constant argument is LeBron is so much better than Jordan, and if you put LeBron back in his era, then he would just absolutely dominate. I agree.
I do too.
I agree with that. But I also go the double side, what do you call it? The double standard is if you put Michael Jordan in the new age, what you're forgetting is you got to apply the new age training, the new age basketball, the new age genetics. And I think if you plugged in Michael Jordan into the new era, he would be just as effective as he was back then. That's just my overall analysis, and I get yelled at all the time for that because LeBron is nobody moves like LeBron at his size. That is one thing I'll credit to him the most. What is he, 6'9", like 250?
6'9", 250. I don't know if it's like laser time or confirmed, but I'm pretty sure he ran like 4'3" or 4'4", 40. Imagine that coming out.
Yeah, attacking the rim 20 times a game.
Remember the time where Cowboys were trying to get him at one point?
Yeah, tight end. Yeah, they might have won us a damn Super Bowl for once, but I don't. That'll be better than Martellus Bennett, but don't replace my boy Jay Witt now.
No. It'd be a faster Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. What are your opinions? I guess with the GOAT talk, if you had to sum it up, are you kind of like a full strung, like LeBron is plug him back then, plug him in today, plug Jordan in today, doesn't matter, LeBron? Or is it?
I agree with the eras thing. Jordan was the GOAT of his era, LeBron was the GOAT of this current era.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of a boring take. I will agree. Like for me,
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it's the safest thing to say.
I feel like it's fair, but it's so hard to compare against. It's not like you can be like, all right, 1-on-1, who's going to win? I mean, obviously LeBron would be younger, but
right.
I think LeBron can play every position. Whether it's point, 5, whatever. I don't think he has small forward, whatever.
Right.
Technically, but I think of things differently when it comes to GOAT debate. I don't necessarily. The biggest thing they say Jordan over LeBron is rings.
Yeah.
Right. Got 6. LeBron's got 4.
Yep.
Some people count it as a half because of COVID. It's still basketball.
Right.
I don't think you can discount.
Not like
that.
they're playing any different out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're playing at Disney or whatever.
Yeah, it's like there's no crowd effect.
I think they fed in the sound. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is I look at, if you're going to look at an individual to be the best, I just look at the stat line.
Yeah.
I think championships, whether it's Super Bowls in the NFL or, finals in the NBA, I think that's a team effort.
Yeah.
Not to say LeBron hasn't had good teams. He has. But when you look at the stats, what LeBron's leading in points and top 3 in assists, and he's up there in rebounds and everything he's been able to do. That's what I think solidifies LeBron.
Yeah.
There's a lot of arguments against that. People in the comments and the chat are probably saying
permission to call the camera.
He's had so much more time and stuff, and it's different. And Jordan never had to go against the 73 win Warriors either.
Right. True.
So I think it's LeBron. That.
Yeah.
But I still think it's fair to say that they're the GOAT of their own era.
Yeah. I think you make good points too, because it's it's very hard, especially with the right stats, it's very hard to deny somebody because, like they say, numbers don't lie. I do think in some sports numbers do lie. Like you could go into like football and be like, all right, well, if you put these quarterbacks side by side the past 3 years, and you're like, okay, well, clearly one's better than the other, but the eye test. And you look at LeBron and the stats and the longevity of which he's played at. And yes, like a lot of people put like that hypothetical. It's like, LeBron played the 73 win Warriors. He played the Mavericks, played the Spurs. He played, all those other teams, or I guess I don't remember who he played when he was in the Lakers. But like that win-loss percentage, they're like, well, Jordon never lost. But then the hypothetical they also bring up is when Jordon left to go play baseball. They're like, I wonder what would have happened if he stayed and continued to play basketball at a high tier level instead of taking a break and then coming back and then winning another one or whatever, and then going to the Wizards. And it's like, they talk about, Jordan on the Wizards versus like LeBron on the Lakers. I'm like, okay, I think that's completely different. But,
sure.
I think it would have helped LeBron's career tremendously if he had a true home.
Yeah.
And the big scandal here was leaving to go to Miami Heat. But he also I don't think he was really getting the support he needed in Cleveland.
No, not at all. That is terrible.
I was going to say,
Trash.
If they're not going to support you, then yeah, best by all means. But the difference was, and the Chicago Bulls supported Jordon. They went and got Dennis Rodman. They had
Pippen.
Yeah, Pippen, Scottie Pippen. They had the coach. They had the GM. They had it all.
That's another big point of mine is LeBron's never really had a coach.
Yeah,
like Jordan did. I mean, I think LeBron's kind of been the coach everywhere he's been at.
I was going to say that. And you know me, like not a big LeBron guy, but you can tell he puts an emphasis on every team he goes on, and he's probably coaching up his son right now of all things. And I guess that's what do you think about Bronny? Old Bronny.
Yeah. Bronny, I think he has potential. I feel for him because he's got a lot to live up to.
No kidding. My God.
Yeah, pretty high expectations. Obviously, he doesn't have the size of LeBron or the physicals of LeBron.
Yeah.
But I think his IQ is going to be on a different level.
Yeah.
I think it's good that they moved him down into the G League or whatever it's called. He started picking it up in there. I don't think he's like incredible like LeBron was when he came from high school into the NBA.
Right.
But, I don't know. There's a lot of people are like, oh, daddy ball. And I feel like that could be part of it. But,
yeah.
It's NBA. Like,
right. What do you, okay, here's a fun question. When you talk about daddy ball and you look at LeBron and Bronny playing in the same league together, and then you compare it to kind of like people claim that was nepotism or whatever, that this would have never happened if LeBron was on the team or was not on the team and whatnot, or if he went into retirement, he wouldn't have been drafted where he was, yada, yada, yada. The Sanders, Shadur, Shiloh, under Dion, going from Jackson State, then to Colorado, and claiming that they've won all this stuff. And then, obviously he slipped in the draft 4 rounds past what he was projected. And there's been this like overwhelming fear for NFL coaches that if we drafted Shadur, like let's say it was early, first 2 rounds, and it didn't pan out, and then that would be calling for their job because Dion is just sitting there waiting to coach his son where he's coached him everywhere else. Do you think the nepotism within the Sanders family is worse than the nepotism within the LeBron's family? Or do you think it's like vice versa?
I mean,
I never asked myself this question either because that's a good question. I felt like I was cooking while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I think with Bronny, I think teams are also thinking about profits, selling tickets, stuff
True.
like that. So I think part of drafting Bronny was like, oh my God, it's the first father-son duo of the NBA. Like, this is changing the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a feel-good story, and it's never happened before. So I think that definitely played into it. with the Sanders, where I have an issue where like, Colorado's talking about retiring Shador's jersey, and it's like, they got to a bowl game, great. He was there for a year. You got to a bowl game.
Got ran through
right.
the bowl game.
I don't necessarily think that's jersey retirement.
Yeah. Right.
I also think Dion. He said there was teams he wouldn't let his son play for.
Dude, that'll ruin a kid's draft stock instantly.
Right. So I'm like, okay, well, surely he didn't want him to play for the Browns. So I'm like, maybe this was self-sabotage at first.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, son, you might not get drafted, so you got to go where they take you.
Right.
That's kind of my thought. And then back to your original point about the coaching thing, with Dion replacing the coach, I mean, it kind of comes down to profits again, I think, where it's like, look what Dion did at Colorado.
Yeah.
He took over. They're swagged out, drippy and everything. Like, he could bring that to a fan base that needs that, like the Browns. I mean, I feel bad for all the Browns fans out there.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely a good point that could happen. But I think the Sanders.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. I mean, it is a never seen before action to have a father-son in the NBA, and of course it would happen, with LeBron. I really don't believe any other athlete in the NBA could pull it off.
I agree.
I mean, you think about it, like the next best player in the NBA, like Giannis, like if he played, or I guess an older player you would have to think of.
Curry.
Curry. Like if Curry's son, what if Steve Kerr's son got in the NBA? Can you imagine the nightmare they would have?
He didn't plan that one out too well.
Nicholas? But so that shit is hilarious, by the way. When you're looking at it from that perspective, I kind of see it as no one else should get away with this sort of thing. And you gotta some part of you's got to respect it. The other side, which like there's concern, but I don't think there should be hate. I don't think there should be hate for Bronny. You got to give him a chance. Now, if it's kind of like draft stock and position when you think of it from a technical aspect, you're like, okay, if he wasn't drafted, where he was drafted, was it in the first or second round? I can't remember.
I think it was the second round.
Yeah, it's not as bad. But if there's not even, this was like 4 rounds in the NBA or something like that. I can't even remember.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. The people in the NFL want fans want the NFL to adopt the NBA lottery.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you look at it from the Sanders perspective, I don't think threatening job security based upon your son's performance, because he's a grown man. It's all up to your own son to be able to perform. You're not asking. You're asking every single one of those kids, no matter what your name is, no matter this, because there's been plenty of greats that have had kids that have entered the NFL or to college, and they didn't make it, And so you're looking at the standards, and it's like that standard is just removed completely, basically saying, my son has to have success, and if he doesn't, then it's everyone else's fault except my son's. And we saw this in their second year, or their 4-8 year in Colorado, where he started blaming the offensive line, where Dion started cutting all the players and saying, like, if you ain't going to protect my son, if you ain't going to do this, this, and this for my culture, then you're out. And people claim that as a culture coach, this kind of guy. And I don't want to be disrespectful towards Dion, because I know he's been, and it's not like he's going to ever hear this for 2 or 3 years, but when I look at it from that perspective, I think the Sanders are far worse. And not to say that they're bad human beings or anything, but I just think that situation is far worse. And to have his dad kind of manipulate his draft stock, and it just, because when Rodgers got drafted to the Packers, I mean, like, that was unexpected, and he had to earn his way past Favre. And then when Baker was drafted to the Browns, your boy over there from the Sooners.
Yes, sir.
Dude, he was electric, by the way. They were relevant on the Browns. Like, Baker was good. He wasn't like special at the time, but he was good. He got him in the playoffs, and he didn't get a shot. They got rid of him. So now you're bringing, depending on what Dion said about Shadura where he was playing. He ended up at the same place that trashed Baker whenever he was putting out. So what do you think's going to happen if you sabotage your son Shador when he fails as a 5th round draft pick, not a 1st round?
Yeah.
So a lot of concerns there, in my opinion. But I guess in response to the question, we both think that the Shadanders, nepotism is worse. And especially if, oh my God, dude, the rumors of him going to Dallas, like at the time.
Oh, I did not want it.
Dude, we went through 5 rounds of Shador staring at us right in the face, and we didn't do it. You got to hand it to Jerry. Thank God. And, you know, on top of that, like this good transition into some Dallas Cowboys talk. You got to hand it to him because, for one thing, he went after Joe Milton, which me and you talked beforehand, and I was talking about it weeks before it happened.
Yeah, you were.
And I said, I think we should go after this guy. I think Joe Milton, I'd rather get him versus, you know, whoever's coming up in this year's draft, because I think next year's draft is far better, from the outlook. And it happened. Damn, I got him for a 4th round pick. And then, of course, the blockbuster one, NFL young boy, George Pickens. So I guess you're probably excited for that, like just as much as I am.
100%.
Yeah.
You see the video that CD posted?
Was it the one they were at like the baseball game or something?
Yeah, and he's like, they're asking him about it, and he's like, yeah, this ain't no A and B. Like, you look over there, it's 1. You look over there, it's 1. Y'all gonna have to figure that out.
Figure that out, son. Like,
so hard, bro.
And people are gonna be like, you know, oh well, they got Dak. They, you know, the defenses don't gotta worry about nothing, bro. He's a regular season merchant.
Sure, for sure.
You can knock him on playoffs all you want, but when you look at Dak in the regular season, that dude cooks. And AJ Brown said it himself. He's like, man, they're scared. Like Dak will tear you up. I'm like, well, that's because it's true. Like he's great within his division. He's usually winning 10 plus games a year. A lot like some other quarterbacks in the league. So with George, I mean, we were about to go in this season in the statement I saw, man, with Stephen Jones talking about, well, I think Jalen Tolbert and, you know, Jonathan Mingo got potential to be number 2s. And I'm like, oh, we're
Devontae Turpin in there.
Right.
He's either going to catch it and break one or just go right through his hands.
Literally. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a Tavon Austin in Dallas 2.0. Like where you're like, you might catch one every now and then. They're like, and then NFL will have something to post and say, oh, you know, oh, he's the best. Like, he's the fastest player in the league. And, you know, this is why they paid him. And you're like, okay, like he's a gadget player. And I love Devontae Turpin, what he does for the Cowboys. I mean, great special teams returner. Well, what do you think? I guess with the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens mix, like when you look at it from a fantasy aspect, you think they're going to be like neck and neck in draft value? Like when you're going in there for like a 10-man draft or whatever, like you think it's going to be like CeeDee Lamb like 1st round and then maybe George Pickens in like the 3rd or the 4th or something like that? Or
possibly. I mean, I'd still take CD. I feel like this is kind of obvious, but
Yeah.
I'd still take CD over him just because he already has that built in with Dak. You know, they've been playing together. I feel like George Pickens has to earn his trust. They got to get on the same level.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're both like highlight level players. Like, I mean, I was watching a highlight reel and just the catches that they've both had is insane. So,
Yeah.
I mean, imagine getting both of them.
in a keeper league, it's like, oh my God.
One of them gets locked up, the other one goes off.
That's what I'm saying. You just start both of them, and then one of them's got to put up some numbers, you know? And what I talked about on my episode with Pickens was, I mean, you kind of got like, you see like CeeDee Lamb in the slot a bunch. He's running those, I mean, he basically runs everything. I can't say he runs a specific route, but dude, I mean, his versatility matched up with like Pickens outside and those, you know, deep ball catches. I always said he's like an elevated Michael Gallup with that.
We're in the same number.
Yeah. Like Michael Gallup, and people sleep on him. Like the dude he had these like energetic games where he would just pop off for 6 catches, like 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you're like, what in the world? And that was with Cooper and Lamb. And so now you remove the Cooper, but he's still out there.
Yeah, I miss Cooper. Dude.
He's still out there.
Just a route runner. Like, he
Yeah.
wasn't the fastest, not the biggest, but Could not guard him.
Yeah. Dude, he was electric because, I mean, you remember that year? We were like 3-5, and then we traded for Cooper, and we went 10-6.
Yeah, he's game changer.
Like, I mean, if you look at it in retrospect, is Jerry Jones cooking?
Low key.
I mean, he had the scene with Landman.
And a great scene, too. Like, I almost shed a tear. Like, family.
Yeah. You ain't no spring chicken.
Great show, by the way.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. The old Billy Bob Thornton, whatever.
You got any bourbon back there? We have one rule.
Yeah. Dude, if you ever, like, that scene, though, because I don't think a lot of people realize where he got his money from, oil and gas. And he went in there and he's talking to old John Hamm, and he's sitting there. He's like, I did all this about the Dallas Cowboys. And what I wanted not my family to be there just because it was me. I wanted them to be there because they were my family. They wanted to be there. And I was like, oh my God.
That's great. You killed that.
Yeah, he's like, my favorite line is the spring chicken where he's like, you ain't no spring chicken either, son. Billy Bob Thornton, you do it better than me. What he says, I'm a few eggs short of spring chicken.
Few eggs short of spring chicken.
Yes, sir. I'm a few eggs short of spring chicken.
Yeah, the part that still trips me out is whenever he's on the sideline with his daughter, that whole scene. Like, I'm going to regret asking, but what's your rule?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that rule is crazy, by the way, if you've seen the show. As long as
They're staying safe.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, potato. But risk it if you will.
I'd risk it.
Well, okay, like going into the fine. Going into the Dallas Cowboys season though, with Pickens, Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Dak, the revamped offensive line, hopefully Overshone comes back healthy. We got a new edge player and some two young guys that are coming off of injuries, along with, of course, Parsons. Trayvon Diggs, big concern there, in my opinion. You've heard me talk about it with like the knee injuries. But Deron Bland, that third-round draft pick, kind of the same, a couple of linebacker signings, all this different stuff. And a committee backfield, I'm assuming, with, I was going to say Amari and Hand, but Javonte.
Jaden Blue,
Javonte Williams. I'm assuming maybe Miles Sanders, maybe Phil Maffa from Clemson, the rookie. Looking at it from that, I don't know if you've seen the schedule, and I guess I can pull it up. Honestly, you want to go right through it and say way too early loss? Dub or not?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
it.
All right.
Alternate.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I'll count them up at the end.
First one's the Eagles. You can do that one.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Cowboys, Eagles kicking off the season Thursday, September 4th. It's obviously an NBC and Peacock, so we're going to get a Chris Collinsworth. Gosh, okay, so Jalen Hurts and Dak have not really met too many times. Forget you're a Jalen Hurts guy.
I mean, you see the jersey.
Yeah, it is a Lamb jersey though, but it's also wait, did Hurts wear number 1?
Yeah, I think he wore 1.
Okay, all right, cool.
I think so. Yeah.
We didn't shout out the jersey. Yeah, it says CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb Sooners.
Game worn is why the numbers.
Game worn, $1,000 on eBay. So no, it sounds good. Yeah, so they haven't met too many times between Jalen Hurts and Dak, and this game appears to be, a away game. I think we drop this game. I think we lose game 1, but I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think Dak does play them well, though. There's just a lot of times where he plays well and we still lose, and I think historically Dallas doesn't really start strong.
I was going to say,
it's
game 1. Usually they take a little bit to get rolling.
Yeah, I agree. So, but last year that was kind of completely flipped. Honestly, you can tell it's a good year for the playoff year, I would say, for the Dallas Cowboys if they start slow.
Yep.
So I kind of want him to start a little slower.
He's into it now.
Yeah, you know, a little new head coach coming in. So yeah, I'm gonna say, should I do like a score? No. It's a dub or not. All right, yeah. So we'll do. I got Eagles winning game 1. So game 2, we got. You want to do the Eagles too? Or do you just want to switch game by?
Want to do game by game?
Yes. Okay. Giants and Cowboys. We're at home.
Easy dub.
Yeah,
for sure.
We got Russ, Gus, Truss, Bus, Wilson.
Yeah, you know, he's out of his prime, obviously.
Sure.
He was so fun to watch at Seattle. I think Jackson Dart will end up taking over the reins at some point in the season.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to see him.
Yeah.
You know? But no, I think it's easy dub with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think they're going to slaughter them, honestly.
I think so. I think that's going to be one of those like 40-6 games.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Well,
what happened?
And what happened? Your balls drop off? All right. Cowboys at Bears. Week 3. Oh my gosh. This is a tough one. I'm getting some tough ones. You get a tough one up next, though. Gosh, I mean, you got Caleb Williams and all those new revamped receivers and running backs and head coach Ben freaking Johnson over there. I mean, it literally depends on whether or not Caleb Williams is any better than last year. And last year he showed signs and also did not. I think the Cowboys take this game. And I only say that because I don't think this is just one of those early road games where it's like, we're 1-1. We want to start getting cooking, right? And we're starting to get in our groove. And I think it's just one of those games where Chicago playing over there, it matters most when it's cold. And we're still in the warmer season. So I think Dak cooks in that game, or the running game does. Something cooks, and we win.
Yeah, that's a good point. It won't be snowing.
That's right. So we got 2-1 right now. You got the Packers at Arlington, at home, I guess.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Matt LaFleur.
I not too fond of the Packers. I have some family out there that are diehard Packers fans. I'm a hater. I'd love to see them lose. Full transparency. I've always disliked the Packers ever since the Dez catch.
Yeah.
It was a catch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think because they played twice, right? Cowboys and Green Bay.
This year?
Yeah.
No. I think they just played once.
They played once?
Yeah.
And they're playing at Dallas. You know, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
You know, I think Jordan Love, it all depends on how he comes back feeling.
Yeah.
Cowboys playing at home. I think it's always a toss-up, but I think I could see the Cowboys pulling it off.
Okay. Yeah.
Keeping the streak alive.
Yeah.
Coming home from Chicago, you know, I think Cowboys will be a different look this year with the added weapons. So I'm giving it like a field goal win.
Yeah. Down to the wire. And you never know, like with the Packers, it's always a close game. With whether it was Mike McCarthy coaching them or LaFleur, it was always back and forth. But I think, I would have to agree. So now we're 3-1. We go and play the Jets. This is an easy one for me. I mean, you got Justin Fields and the Jets. That's a dub for the Cowboys.
I was going to say no.
Really? No. Yeah, the Jets. I don't fear Justin Fields every time the Cowboys have played Justin Fields. I think is like once or twice we've ripped him to shreds. No, yeah, twice. The Steelers and when he was on the Bears. And when on the Bears, we think we scored like 56 points.
Shit on them.
Yeah. Defense might be a problem with the Jets. Their defense, but I think we run through them. I think that's an easy dub. All right, 4-1 going to the Panthers.
Yeah, you know, I think
Sleeper game.
No, it is a
Trap.
trap. It's a trap game
trap
for
game,
sure. Yeah, trap game. I hope to see Bryce Young kind of step out this year.
Me too.
Even though the Panthers, gosh, they haven't been good since Cam Newton.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's another pretty easy one. They don't really have a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Young will get them further this year, but I don't think they're beating the Cowboys. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So we're 5-1 now. All right, going to the Commanders, 325 game of the week, most likely in October. It's a home game. I'm sorry. I don't really respect the Commanders that much. I mean, I think Jaden Daniels is pretty dang good, but they should have lost twice to the crappy Dallas Cowboys last year. So, and I get it, you're going to get better the year after, but I think we got a good read on Dan Quinn.
Yeah. What about Debo?
Like, don't get me started. Debo, bro. For the record, I think he's hot garbage. I mean, I think that dude had one good year, and after that, of course, if he's sitting right next to me, I'm not going to say that.
Hell no.
He'll beat the crap out of me, and he should be able to. If he shouldn't beat the crap out of me, then we got some questions to ask him. Maybe I can play in the league, but no, I just don't fear him anymore, I guess is the best way to say it. And they're putting him in like the top duos like Terry McLaurin and whatnot. And I'm like, come on. Like, I just think Dak runs that division. And I'm really not trying to be biased here at all. Like, and I look at the schedule and I'm thinking there's no way we're going to start out 6-1. Yeah, I think it's a little stormy outside.
Storms on the horizon.
Yeah. Get out there before the lightning strikes. I'm going to call this a dub. It's a home game.
Interesting take.
I
think they're going to split.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was going with it. Because later in the schedule, I think weeks 12 through 17, we got a gauntlet.
Yeah.
So I think we drop the next one against the Commanders. And if it comes to me, I'll say an L. But I think we win the first one at home.
That's fair.
Okay. 6-1. Broncos. Away.
Broncos country.
Broncos country. That's right.
Really like Bo Nick.
Me too.
He's a stud. Playing away. I think they could be better this year. Ice Man.
Yeah, it is.
And they're playing in Denver, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think this might be one of those games where the Cowboys split.
Yeah.
Playing in Denver after coming off a tough opponent with Washington, I think Bo Nix. I mean, it's the hardest season for a quarterback's second year, right? They got film on them now. Can't do the same things, because I played back in the day. And I think I'm going to go Broncos just because I don't see the Cowboys going 7-1.
Yeah.
And I think the Broncos are good enough to win.
Yeah. Not only that, I think the Broncos defense is scary. I think they have the potential to win their division.
Patrick Surtain.
Yeah. They've got other guys too now. I think another white boy corner, Brandon Moss, I think is his name.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 6-2. We're headed to the Cardinals at home. Now, Kyler Murray. I don't know. Nobody can gauge him at all. I mean, he is very creative, does some really cool things. Eventually, occasionally in fantasy, he's good to have. Marvin Harrison Jr. put on some freaking muscle. I don't know if you saw that.
Swole up.
Dude, he is jacked. Now, going into year 2 and their new coach being, I think, in his second or third year, I think this is another trap game where you see like, oh, we got this in the bag. We're 6-2. I think we drop it. It's a Monday night game too. No. Come on. Primetime game on ESPN. I don't think the lights help Kyler Murray that much. I'm going with a dub.
Depends if there's a new Call of Duty out.
Right? Yeah, it is around that time in November.
Yeah,
November 13th. Yeah, I mean
it
about,
might be on a phase tour.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good time. Good. Yeah. There we go. 7-2. I think you're 7-2, right?
Yeah. Shout out K1 though.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a dog. All right. You got the Cowboys at the Raiders with Geno Smith and Ashton Genty.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of Genty at training camp?
Right. He's
massive.
Big old thigh. When he's rubbing your body against him and you can feel the body. Come
on. I don't think the Raiders are a good team. I don't think they're a good franchise.
Yeah. I don't think Geno's the one to save them either.
No, I think it's an upgrade from what they had. Like Aiden O'Connell or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Garoppolo.
Yeah. It just depends if they can stop the run. and how good Genty does. I think Genty's going to be a great back, but I think the Cowboys take that one.
Yeah, that's another primetime game, by the way. Right now, we had the Cardinals on Monday and the Raiders on a Monday. Kind of odd.
Yeah, back to back.
Doesn't seem right.
Yeah, weird.
All right, 8-2. All right, going to the Eagles again. Man, I had an L at the beginning of the season. Did I say Raiders?
You said Eagles.
Okay, good. Okay.
Wait, you gave the Cowboys a win at the beginning of the season.
No, I think I got it.
No, you gave them
It was an L.
My bad.
But I always feel like we split with the Eagles every year.
I agree.
Man, we're playing them at home this time. It's a 3:25 game, closer to Thanksgiving. God, bro, I can't just keep racking up wins for Dallas. We're 8-2. We'd be 9-2 heading into Thanksgiving if we won this game at home. But it makes sense to split away and win at home, especially way too early. God, I'm gonna sound like an idiot Cowboys fan, man. But I think we win this game at home.
It's logical that they would win. I mean, normally they split the series, so I think that's factual. We just probably messed one up of one of the easy games.
Right? Yeah, they're gonna slip.
Drop one.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. 9-2. We get a dub. All right. You get the Chiefs versus Cowboys on Thanksgiving. This is on CBS and Paramount Plus, 3:30.
Yeah. Thank God it's on Paramount Plus and streaming services. We always have Thanksgiving at my grandparents. They got rid of all their channels. So the last couple of Thanksgivings before that, I was watching it on my phone. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it sucked. I'm like, this is a tradition. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah. We're not even here for family. We're here for the game.
Yeah, like we can't sit on the couch and watch Snoopy.
Yeah.
You know, like
no.
So,
Charlie, whatever.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs. It's a tough one. I think I got to give it to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Big game. You know, I don't really think the Cowboys have faced the Chiefs a lot.
Yeah, and the one time before that they beat him with Alex Smith, and then the second time it was like 9-19 or something.
Yeah, boring game.
Yeah, and it was one of those games where we thought we could win, and we went in. It was just like they shut us down because Spagnuolo, their DC, is a beast.
Yeah,
I mean, their defense coordinator has got it down. So I think we have a disappointing Thanksgiving. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's hard to bet against Mahomes.
Here we go. So 9-3 now. We move on to a back-to-back Thursday night games. We play the Lions away. And I don't know. I have a hot take with the Lions. I think they're going to be good. They got too much talent to be bad. But losing Ben Johnson is a big one. I wonder if you can hear that thunder. Dude, audience, chat, clipped it.
We're in a monsoon right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Looks like you're staying the night. All right, yeah. So Cowboys and Lions, I think we lose this game though, but I don't think the Lions will be as good as last year. I think it'll be a close game, and we've beaten them before, but I think this one will be tight-knit, probably lose by like a field goal. So we're 9-4 now. We're into the gauntlet, by the way.
I can tell.
Yeah. All right, we get the Vikings at home on a Sunday night, prime time. 9-4.
Who's JJ McCarthy.
JJ
right?
McCarthy and possibly Aaron Rodgers. You never know. Never know mentality. 24-hour rule.
I don't know if they're going to be as good this year. I mean, obviously it depends on JJ McCarthy if they make any moves. Jay Jett is a stud, best receiver in the league, maybe tied with Jamar Chase. But I could see the Cowboys winning this one just because there's so much unknown with how that team's going to be without Darnold.
Yeah.
I mean, Darnold's not.
It's crazy to say.
I know.
Yeah.
He's not like incredible, but he went off last year.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get the ball to Dettas and forget the other guy.
Jordan Addison.
Yeah, the guy that
Yeah.
I think I made a trade.
Yeah, I think you gave him in fantasy and I won.
Against me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I made a blockbuster deal.
Hey, you win and you lose by the trades because the year prior, remember, I made all those trades and just screwed up my team. I was like 5-9.
Well, remember, I was doing terrible, and then I made that trade that everyone kind of freaked out about.
Yeah, Ryan, you and Ryan
and
made that
Ryan,
trade. Yeah. Shout out the analyst. He didn't really analyze that one, did he?
I mean, well, everyone thought I was getting fleeced.
Yeah,
Remember?
dude. Yeah, because it was Metcalf and like Tyreek.
Yeah, I gave up Metcalf and Tyreek, and
Do you remember who you got?
no, I don't. I think I got 3 players though.
Dude, you got a receiver. I remember that.
But then what happened was DK and Tyreek both got hurt.
Yeah, and they were kind of funky.
Yeah,
the year.
they were.
And I had JSN. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 9-4. Vikings, you had
Win.
So 10-4. Here's where it gets tough. I think this is a home game versus the Chargers at the noon time slot. This is right before Christmas. So you're going to get the Commanders game coming up. But here's the thing. We played those back-to-back Thursday games, Thanksgiving, then the Lions. Then we went back to Sunday. So long rest, home game, win. And then another week-long rest versus the Chargers. I think that's a win. And I think the Chargers are going to be a damn good team. They're going to be very respectful, but I think we kind of had their number historically, especially against Justin Herbert. Like, ironically, I think we beat him twice. And for the Justin Herbert truthers out there, I'm sorry. But, all right, so what were we, 10-4? No. 11-4?
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
With the Chargers win.
Yeah, so we were 9-4 going into the Vikings, and you had a
Cowboys win. 10-4.
10-4, 11-4. All right, now on a short week, you got the Commanders. I mean, you're saying we're going to probably split with it.
Yeah, I think that's a split.
So
I think they'll lose that one.
10-5.
I think so. Or no, 11-5.
11-5. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just think it's kind of like with the Eagles. They're going to split them. I don't see them winning them all.
Okay, so we're actually on track. We're 11-5 heading into the Giants game. Now, this is a toss-up because you don't know how I only say it's a toss-up because you don't know if we're going to have the division locked up. You don't know if we're going to have to, if we lost the division and it's like, it wouldn't matter seeding-wise if we won or lost, we might just rest our starters. So we're going to call it a win because we're better than the Giants. And I think if Joe Milton came out there
It would be fun to see.
Yeah, it'd be kind of an exciting game. And I think we would still beat the Giants. So 12-5.
Yeah, it's solid.
I think that's fair. And I think in between there, we're probably dropping a game.
For sure.
So 11-6.
Take it.
We'll call it a spade a spade. 11-6 for the Dallas Cowboys in 2025. Question mark. Losing the divisional.
Place your bets.
Losing the divisional. Let's go. Head it home. Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job.
I think so. I think
This is wild.
Is it even raining? Just thunder.
Man, it's black as a hockey puck out there. Good Lord. Yeah, so I think that's fair. And I'm excited for it. To be honest, I know my expectations for the Cowboys aren't like, holy crap, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. And I've never said that in the last 4 or 5 years. So we're not like one of those fans. But I guess going into the college football atmosphere, I want to talk like SEC ball because I've been on the train that college football has become far more exciting than the NFL, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, I agree. They're not playing for. I used to say they're not playing for a contract, but now they're getting paid.
Yeah,
so not really. Just staying with the same team. Loyalty, what I'm looking for. But no, I think it is more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, and like with the SEC, obviously last year Oklahoma and Texas both came into the SEC, which I honestly, business-wise, I think that's a fantastic move. And it technically is, like my mom's talked about, it's basically the Southwest Conference all over again that we grew up with. When we were playing on the PSP, we had Missouri, Arkansas, A&M, Texas, OU, kind of all playing together all the time. And now you just add that with Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and it's just like the best of the best in one conference. And I've always been, I don't even care if anybody like contradicts me on this, but the SEC is just clearly the best conference in football. They have the best quality teams. You can go down the list. If you put, let's say they talk about this 40-team playoff or whatever. If that happened, OU and Arkansas would have made it, which is wild. But if you look at it from a point of when you play outside of the conference, bro, like you got to look at OU and Arkansas and go, this team is probably better than that team. And because of their schedule. The schedule that Arkansas and OU played last year, I talked about it a little bit, but holy shenolies. Like, you guys played every top tier SEC team on the list.
Oh, yeah. And again this year.
It's the same this year, except flipped home and away.
Damn gauntlet.
I mean, all year. I mean, even the non-conference games, I think, are pretty tough. And then you got teams like Ole Miss that'll start 6-0, and then they start playing somebody relevant. And it's like stat inflation. But
Heisman.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, look, he's in the Heisman race through 7 weeks. It's like, well, wait till they play, someone else. But God, I mean, you got to think about it. I know they play Texas. Pull it up, because like OU, man, I think obviously since y'all's coach left, y'all have had some struggles with getting back on track, and obviously A&M's kind of in the same boat with finding the right head coach. It's very difficult to do in college football, but you guys were winning Heisman's every single freaking year.
Heisman U.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically what you guys are. I mean, Heisman U, QBU. I mean, you got Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. I'm probably missing one too. I mean, technically had Caleb Williams for a year.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler went to the Gamecocks, but yeah, nobody.
Prima donna.
He got humbled when he went over to South Carolina, but he actually started playing well.
I think that saved him.
Yeah, and now he's on the Saints, which I don't think he's gonna do anything, but we'll see. Hopefully he does. But
yeah.
Like you look at, was it Venables or whatever his name is?
Brent Venables, yeah.
Yeah. It came from he's a DC from Dabo Sweeney's crew. Name, image, and likeness of God. But I don't know, man. Because I mean, the guy, who's y'all's coach that he went to USC? I keep
Lincoln
thinking
Riley.
Dude, I kept thinking it was Landry Jones, which was a quarterback that y'all had back in the day. But I'm like, it's not Landry Jones. All right, Lincoln Riley. I mean, ever since he went to USC, it really hasn't amounted to anything.
No.
Gotten far worse. And that's a bigger brand, technically.
Yeah, but he got paid, got a house.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hope that they give Venables a chance.
Yeah.
Because I like him as a coach. Anyone that coached with Dabo, I think going to be great.
Yeah.
Just hope they give him a chance because, of course, OU has been known for their offense and always had a terrible defense. I mean, Big 12 football, right?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because I'm like, golly, imagine if OU had the defense they had currently with the offense they had before. Like if Lincoln Riley, maybe it was like OC or something.
Yeah.
It would have been sensational, So
sensational.
Yeah, you saw where I was going with that. But I pulled up their schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we've got a tough week 1, Illinois State. We don't have to necessarily.
Yeah, but I just you got to highlight the teams that y'all play, though. Yeah. I mean, because
week 2's Michigan.
Yeah.
You got Temple, Auburn, Kent State, Texas. Yeah.
Kick the living shit out of them.
Auburn's one of those ones where you never know, I think.
Yeah.
Then you got Texas, of course, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Here's the gauntlet. So after Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those there, like, I'm hopeful for the future, but, I really think we happen to go even.
Yeah. I mean, Michigan's tough. You're playing them at home. And then you got, I believe this is
one I had.
Yeah. You got, your 2 warm-up games with Temple and Illinois State. And you got Michigan, not an easy non-conference game. Plus, they got Bryce Underwood, the new 5-star, freaking quarterback that they got that put on like 40 pounds in 2 months. Then you got Auburn, which they've got your old quarterback, Jackson Arnold over there. And dude, what's crazy about it to me is Jackson Arnold he's a really young player at Oklahoma, And they're like, okay, we're trashing this kid, blah, blah, blah. And then he transfers to Auburn. And they're like, holy crap, Auburn might be the real deal this year with the potential of Jackson Arnold. And I'm like, I mean, it's just wild to me because when he's playing, it's like, oh, he's terrible. But then when actually give him a chance to develop, he actually might be pretty good.
Yeah.
So who knows with Auburn, but they've always been tough. But you're playing them at home, so that might be. But then, Texas, they're going to be Arch Manning. South Carolina, you got Lenore Sellers. Ole Miss, you got Lane Kiffin. Tennessee, you got no Nico anymore because of that big story. But Josh Heupel, great coach. And you're playing him at Tennessee. That'll be tough. Alabama, like you mentioned, they're always going to be tough.
They're always good.
Missouri, I think that's a tough game because their coach is actually pretty decent. But there really is no easy game. And then you got LSU to finish things off. Good luck. I mean, it's
brutal. And
5-7 would be a miracle.
Right. And I'm glad they joined the SEC, but it was terrible timing.
Yeah.
Your coach leaves, boom, SEC. A lot of people, argue that he was afraid of that.
Yeah.
But, I don't really buy into all that.
No, recruiting's everything. And we talked about it before. When Lincoln Riley left to USC, I think you guys lost 40% of your recruits.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not just current players, transfer portal players. That's recruits. That could mean a sophomore. That could mean a junior. That could mean a senior. That's 3 years worth 40% of your recruiting.
Yeah, it was brutal.
So they got to attack the transfer portal. I don't know what they did in the offseason, but you can assemble any roster you want. That is a gauntlet for 13 or 14 weeks of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Hawkins.
Yeah.
He was a freshman last year.
Was he the receiver?
No, he's a quarterback that came in.
Oh, yeah.
That replaced Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, I know you guys got a transfer.
Yeah.
From Washington State.
Yeah, him too.
Madlock or Madlock, something like that.
Something like that.
They love him. Joel
Yeah.
Klatt, I listen to him all the time, bro. He loves him.
Yeah. So him.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it could be a position battle.
Yeah.
I just like the development of Hawkins because he can run. He showed some plays.
Yeah.
You could just tell he was not comfortable.
Yeah.
So
who would be?
A freshman, 18 years old,
just shaking out there. Yeah.
The stadium pulse.
The hut. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear that? Snap the ball. Yeah.
John Gruden, QB, can't let me see your snap count.
He goes, the hell was that? He's
The snap count?
snap count. So you've been clapping for 4 years.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. I should have clipped that, back when I saw it from Gruden. Gruden is, I still enjoy his analysis, the way, old Gruden grinder. But,
Spider 2Y banana.
Spider 2Y banana. Travis Kelce on an out route, what is all the clips where don't talk about football in front of my parents or whatever. He's like, you know what gets me fired up? Jared Goff going 18 for 18 got me feeling nicey.
My dad loves Jared Goff.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he had a quarterback named Jared growing up.
Very true.
His dad was my offensive coordinator.
Well, you know where his love for Jared Goff comes from, right?
No, I'm playing.
Well, it was
I'm just kidding.
the coaching camp that Legacy would send coaches to.
Okay.
Can't remember the name of the camp or the name of the coach that put it on.
Yeah.
But he would go there, Coach Harvey, and then Jared Goff was, when he was at Cal, was one of the ones leading it, drawing up plays and talking game and stuff like that, talking offense.
Yeah.
So my dad learned under him at the different coach clinic, and that's where he's always loved Jared Goff ever since.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and I've actually always been a praiser of Jared Goff, and I get a lot of hate for it. But I mean, the guy, he knows how to zip it. And, and it's the second level throws that get me feeling nicey, I guess is the way to phrase it. But dude, your dad was so much fun to be coached under back in the day. And it was always cool because, he was protecting if I was right-handed, you'd be protecting my blind side.
Right.
But you were protecting the opposite side, and my brother was my blind side. And so you were always tackle / tight end back in the 6-man days.
Yeah.
And so, man, it was just like we had those classic memories. And your dad's, if you Mr. Coach Mondick, if you're listening, you're probably gonna laugh your butt off at this. But when we were playing, I think it was in Beaumont. Remember, that was a terrible game. I was a sophomore, and I think it was raining a bit. And I think I threw like 3. I think it was like 0 for 9 with like 3 picks on the day. Terrible. Came to the sideline. I'm on like the verge of tears. Like I failed my team, my organization, the whole thing. And they're gonna cut me and whatnot. And your dad goes, "So you coming over later? You coming over to spend the night later?" And I'm like, "Dude, just don't talk to me, whatever."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Man, you're about to break the record for interceptions."
he tells that story. He's like, about to beat Peyton Manning's record. Yeah. You're like, for what? Because I think we were next to each other on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you coming over?" And sometimes he'd be like, "We playing golf tomorrow?" Like,
yeah.
What?
He's trying to get my mind off it. I'm like,
and
dude, it's not gonna work.
Break the record, like for interception. You're doing better than Peyton Manning.
Dude, I might have laughed. I might have. I don't know, but I was so pissed off. It was, and then he always would do that sort of thing, and it was a comfortability aspect. But I mean, you got to give props to your dad because, we talk about it all the time. We see each other, talking about the different offenses that he had to come up with, not on a seasonal basis, on a freaking daily basis.
Yeah.
Because the coach would be like, our head coach would be like, scrap the whole thing. We're going to revamp our offense from brick, from stone, straight from the gravel. We're going to build our way up from concrete. And you're like, what?
It'd be like Wednesday.
Yeah. And I'm like, we did install for 3 months about, Bronco 24, Bronco 2436, Bronco 2436. And it was an out route RPO type thing. And then week 2, it was, we're installing red. And you're like, what is red? It's like, well, it's like the Oregon offense.
Yeah, duck.
And your dad would explain it. We'd try and memorize it. And we'd go out there and we'd usually have a good, first drive script. So, and that was one of the years I thought got away from me.
Yeah.
Because, if you look at the size of the team at that time, and that's when we lost you to free agency.
Early portal game.
Yeah. And bro entered the transfer portal. I was like, dang, my homie's gone.
Yeah,
but understandable. And we, that year I think we went 4-6 and we barely missed the playoffs. We lost that last game, but bro, that team was much better than our record. Dude, the coach didn't even let me run. Remember that? Head coach was like, "We don't want you running the football."
Oh yeah.
And your dad was like, "What?" The dude's fast.
Yeah. There was a lot of questionable.
Oh yeah. He's up there in Normandy.
It was a lot of fun though. Sure.
I take it personally. He tells my brother happy birthday, but not me. It's no big.
What are you saying?
It's every year. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Y'all are 1 day apart. It's not like you have to remember. It's 1 day, right?
And I enjoyed him as a coach. I really did. But oh man. It was just such a memorable year with jokes, back in the day. We quote so much from that year.
TPW,
tough people win. I tell you what, your talent will take you where your character can't sustain you. Don't you mean your character will take you where your talent can't sustain you, coach? That's not what it says.
Whenever he first came in, before he was the head coach, whenever he was coaching offensive line, Ryan, when you watch this, you'll remember, when we were doing offensive line drills, he would just be like, "I've had 14 knee surgeries and I still move faster than you." It'd be not literally 14, but something crazy. I think we still quote that today.
Yeah,
but that was always a funny thing.
Dude, I'd fumble a snap. He'd be like, "You fumble snap again, we're gonna be Green Bay's for 500 yards." I'm like, "What the hell? We never even found out what Green Bay's are."
Black Halos.
Yeah, Black Halos 500. We're like, dude. And then on Saturdays we come in there and we're like, all sores, all get out, and bring donuts to fatten us up, and then we go, all right, out to the field, we're gonna sprint it all off. I'm like,
after donuts.
Yeah, after donuts and kolaches at 9 a.m. the next day. We were playing in Baytown,
setting you up for failure.
Yeah. Sunday was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, you had electrolytes, IV. They had the IV stations back then. We made a ton off of Legacy.
Yeah, we had the ball boys and everything. They used to piss us off.
Oh my! There's like one. I won't name names. But
No, we're not naming names. I mean, there's been one ball boy, but it was just always a joke because it was like the water cows, the ball boy, like it was.
remember, Coach, whenever he hit me in the head in the helmet.
Yeah. Dude, my uncle talks about that every time I see him, and we're talking sports. My uncle goes, "Who is that young guy that was out there?" And I was like, "Oh, is this guy?" And he was like, "Dude, I mean, he went up to one of these big players in your team and just headbutted the crap out of his helmet." And just after play, and I was sitting there thinking, he was like, "What the hell is he doing?" And he was like feeling his head afterwards, and he started bleeding from the forehead.
Yeah.
He's, feeling it, whatever. And dude, my uncle thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever seen on the football. He used to watch all of our games.
Yeah.
And I told him that was my best friend that he did it to, and he started dying laughing. He says, "No way." I said, "Yeah, we joke about that all the time."
Yeah,
Like,
it was so weird because I'm just standing there, it's pregame, and I forget what he said, but he was like, "You gotta freaking want it."
Yeah,
Boom.
dude. Yeah.
And I was like, God, like I was kind of stunned because it was not a love tap.
Yeah,
he full on headbutted.
Brian Cushing.
Yeah, exactly. And I was sitting there, and the only thing I could think about, like I was not fired up. I was just, golly, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Like that didn't hurt me, but I mean, his head is bleeding.
Yeah, exactly.
And you wonder how many people actually saw that,
Right. I mean, it was right before kickoff, so they were definitely tuning in. Imagine you commentating.
Oh my gosh. And I had Bud on the sideline. I don't know what that was about. It seems to be a heated altercation over here. Yeah, that's fun, by the way. Commentating.
But y'all are great. I remember a couple times I've gone and watched.
You sat in one time, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in the press box with y'all. That was really cool.
It's fun, man. And God bless that school. Like, truth be told, I mean, I haven't announced it yet, but next week I'm actually interviewing my mom.
Really?
So yeah, I wanted to do the unscripted story with the legacy, but that'll be a different story for another time, obviously. But yeah, giving back to that school is always fun. Where it is now versus where it was when we were playing. I mean, back when we were in the school, we were lifting bricks and logs for weights. We didn't have a weight room. It was an old deer lease turned into a football field, which it was always a great football field once it got built. And dude, I mean, there's just so many memories you can go through. All that.
Remember at what was it? The Woodlands Church.
Yeah,
where it's a parking lot now, but when we were practicing, I mean, I just remember the thorns and stickers. Tell you one thing, you did not want to go down. Like, if you went down, your whole leg was covered in like needles.
Yeah.
It was rough. But no, the way that y'all changed legacy, I mean, it's incredible. Like when I went out to that reunion, that was awesome just to see all that y'all done. It really changed.
Yeah, it's special, and it's odd going back because I don't know half the people there anymore, and they know me.
Yeah.
Like they go, "Oh, hi, Jared," and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Well, I've been here for 6 months, but I've heard a lot about you. I'm like,
new friends.
Yeah. Like, what have I done? Like, what have I done to be, remember? It's probably my mom. But, yeah, man. I mean, everything from the ground up over there has been a blessing. There's so many funny memories from playing on the Woodlands Church. That you mentioned, like people running away middle of the practice. We have to chase. Yeah, dude, we're trying to chase him down middle of the woods or whatever. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, here's one that you might have forgotten. You probably didn't forget. It's just been a while since it's been brought up. When certain people were acting up in class and we got disciplined. This was in junior high at the Woodlands Church.
Yep.
And we were running like suicides and. I mean, it was miserable. Remember when people were talking in class and it got back to the coaches?
It was in our grade.
Yeah, but it wasn't in our class.
No,
because
we all got blamed.
That was there was one year I don't know if it was 8th grade or freshman year where they put all of us in the same classes.
Yeah, man. The bad idea right there.
But anyways, we had to do conditioning. Yeah, we had to do conditioning for it, and I remember it started pouring down rain. We're all like, "Thank God, we're done." And I remember we went under the covered like parking and started doing it. And that was even worse because it was humid and it was raining. Yeah. And I remember we were in cleats on concrete and I like busted my knee open.
Yeah.
They're like, "All right, we're going in the gym." And that's when my dad led it.
Yeah.
And it was the longest car ride ever. I didn't say a word to him. I was close, but
Gosh.
we were running it. I mean, the whole practice was conditioning.
Yeah.
People, they got trash cans and put them in the gym,
We're
throwing
throwing
up.
up, yeah.
It was awful. I'll tell you one thing, no one ever talked again. I mean, there was checks and balances with us where we're like, hey, shut your mouth. You know, like, quit talking.
Yeah, dude, it worked.
Yeah, it did, because it was like, if you were caught talking, you're gonna get your ass beat by one of the players for cutting up.
Right. Yeah. Dude, it worked. Like, I don't even remember. I think I remember who it was.
I do too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter now, but I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
He said some stupid stuff in class.
It's a
And
goofball.
yeah. And we got us all in trouble. And, you know, gosh, man. And that was junior high. We thought the world was ending when we had to do conditioning, you know,
Oh, yeah.
back in, if it was in high school, we would have forgot about it next day. But, yeah, that we never forget that one. But, yeah, let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. Tush push.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I say tush push and, what do you call it?
Talking about the flag football. And the
Flag
Olympics.
football. And then, yeah, I think after those two topics, we can wrap this puppy up. But,
I'm
yeah.
not ready.
Oh my God, we can talk
We
forever
keep
if you want.
going.
I mean, I really don't care. But pour me another sarsaparilla.
Pour me a sarsaparilla.
Quote that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tush push. So I covered it a little bit before, and this was when the Green Bay Packers initially put in the request to have it banned, and I was like, oh, if this is not going to gain any traction unless other teams jumped in. And then I think a month or two went by, and then other teams jumped in. And then they were like, you know, this language is not going to work to permit a ban for the tush push until then they revised the language of the tush push or whatever, if you want to get technical with it. Which then led to, like, I saw a couple posts saying it's going to be banned after this revision. And I was like, what? And so I did my research on it, and it ended up not.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it ended up not. But it was like it was clickbait, basically. It was like they've got it's going to be the ban's going to be approved by the end of the day. What the tweet said, and I saw it from 2 or 3 different places. These are the accounts that I typically mute on my podcast account because it's just false information. So I was like, I'm gonna switch over to my podcast account and look through, and sure enough, it was like not enough votes to get counted and blah blah blah, and it's going to remain a play. But your opinions on it? Do you think it should be this play should be allowed? And I guess do you get emotional about it, like in an angry way when you see it happening?
I get annoyed when I see it. I mean, it feels like only the Eagles can do it.
Right, which is odd.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of Jalen Hurts, Saquon, because Jalen Hurts is strong.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a runner. You know, I just think it just makes sense for them. I think other teams have tried to do it and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I get annoyed when I see it. Is it bannable? I don't know. I mean, the
Yeah.
QB sneak's been around for a long time. Just kind of a twist on that.
Right.
You know, I don't like it, but I'm not like pissed off because it didn't get banned. Like, I don't have a huge issue with it.
Yeah, and I think, like, do you think that whenever, like, let's say the play is happening and you got the players, like the 2 running backs that they have positioned behind the quarterback, them pressing the quarterback forward, do you think there should be some type of like restriction on that, or do you think it's allowed? Because my philosophy was it's the same, the way they phrase the language. It's the same as picking up a player downfield and pushing them into the end zone. So if you ban the sneak, in my opinion, ban the sneak, and you're that portion of it where you're pushing against the quarterback and aiding the runner, then you would also have to take away aiding the runner downfield, which wouldn't make any sense.
Right. Like where the offensive lineman will pick them up and throw them into the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a loophole, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'll eventually figure out a way to stop it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bannable.
Yeah. I don't think it is either. I don't like the play. Like, I think it's odd. I understand why it would work. You know, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stopped this thing. The Packers have stopped this thing. It's just the success rate of the play is probably close to 95%. So when you're looking at it from a perspective of a guy that can like squat 700 pounds or whatever the heck it is from Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it's nuts. And Saquon.
And quads. I mean, literally Saquon.
Quadzilla.
Yeah. And whoever else you got, probably Dallas Goedert or whatever on the right side of him, or whoever else is out there.
Used to be Jason Kelsey too, leading the charge.
Yeah, exactly. And you imagine you put what's his name? Jalen Carter there instead. I mean, you're talking right behind the quarterback, pressing him. Like, good Lord. But what I don't like about the tush push, and it is strictly for an agenda reason, is the Jalen Hurts agenda. Because people are always like, oh, dude, he's incredible. Like, he's MVP worthy. He's like top 5, whatever. And I'm like, you take away the tush push touchdowns, and you've got a good quarterback. You don't have just this phenomenal guy. And then you watch him play, and he is good. I'm not hating on Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's bad at all, especially winning a Super Bowl. But what I think is interesting is that those touchdowns, I mean, he's got 33 of those. And the next closest is Josh Allen with 14.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, I mean, like, take away half of them, and the stats you're looking at is just completely different than any other quarterback. So it's like almost as similar as like a foul merchant in the NBA, in my opinion. And it's similar. But but you're a Jalen Hurts fan, and I'm not trying to take away any credit from him, but do you think that has, like, even without it, or even without the tush push, that he's kind of still in that category of like a top 7 quarterback? I mean, because, I mean, you take all of it into account, whether you remove it or not, he's a winner.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wins games.
I've always liked him ever since Bama, and then what he did at Bama, you know, like stepping down and kind of being a role player, and then going to OU and winning.
2 of them.
Right. I do think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's average. I don't think he's like top 5. You know, you get into that 7, 8, 9, 10 range, it's tough. We've talked about this like that.
Yeah.
There's a clear top 5,
right?
And then, like, you know, 7, 8, 9 is like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So I think he's somewhere in the mix there. But yeah, the tush push, I mean, does kind of take away from it. Like, you're not really doing anything but falling forward.
Right.
But it also shows that not everyone else can do it too.
Yeah.
So,
there's that factor. Yeah.
I don't think it takes away too much from him.
Yeah. And I think, you know, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls already. And what I love about the Eagles, which is a rare thing to say, but what I love about them is they grab every piece of the puzzle. They don't hold back. They pay everybody. They trade for everybody. They acquire everybody. They get the right coaches in the building. I mean, hell, they've flipped through, I think, 2 or 3 different offensive and defensive coordinators, and have still produced wins and deep playoff runs with it. So, I mean, there's a recipe there. There's something there in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field that is just gouging NFL teams' eyes out every year after year. And I understand why. I'm like, here's what with every quarterback, you give them what they need and they still fail, like everything they need, and they still fail, then you have a problem at quarterback.
Right.
But typically, if you give a good quarterback like Jalen Hurts everything he needs, he's going to win.
He's going to win.
He's going to win. You're going to go play deep in the playoffs. You're going to go make a Super Bowl here and there. But those other teams were like all those truthers out there for like Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence. Like, they've never had that.
Right.
Ever. I mean, half of them are flipping through 7 or 8 different head coaches in their first 7 or 8 years. And Jalen Hurts has had the same one. They flipped the coordinators, which is very tough to reinstall offenses and things like that. But they got a recipe over there, and you can't disrespect that.
Yeah, it's a winning team for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, long story short, I mean, man, I don't think it should be. It's an annoying play.
Yeah.
And it works. every time. And it's like the phrase, what is the phrase? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
Basically what it is. Long story short. But I mean, banning the tush push is just, I mean, you would have to ban plethora of other things. Those countless plays, you were like, hell yeah, like the lineman picked him up down the field.
Right. Next one.
Olympics.
Oh, the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think it's 5 players.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we'll go into that. So the NFL, I think, or football itself, American football, has been approved into the Olympics. I believe. I think it was. I don't know what Olympic is going to be in, but I mean, you think about American football globally in a competition. Like, we've already seen basketball.
Yeah, and they still wipe the floor for the most part.
And now you got football, which is our sport.
Right. It's like, who are they going to play?
Exactly. Like, what other countries play American football? Canada?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who's the ball?
The football.
Yeah.
World Cup.
They're going to join it and start kicking it. Like, hang on a second.
Oh, hold on. Pause the game.
Yeah.
But there is a flag football league.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that flag football league, because remember, there was that clown that was saying he was better than Mahomes.
Yes.
That's a pull from the bag right there.
Yes.
That dude was like, yeah, I'm probably better than Mahomes, and he got about 2 weeks of star time with that.
He'll get hit once and never play again.
Oh my gosh! And you saw the way he throws. It looks like your neighbor down the street that was throwing back and forth. And you're like, why does he throw like that? I don't know, but it gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to talk about was 5 players on the team, and who are your 5 players you're picking?
Ooh.
Because you get a center, 2 wide receivers, a quarterback, and I believe a running back or a tight end. I think it's a tight end. Yeah.
So I don't know too many centers.
Well, you can use anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
I think that guy's going to rush.
Okay.
On the other side, or no, but just use an athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say quarterback. That'll be an easier one. If they can run, like there's 5 seconds of scramble, I'd probably say Lamar.
Mhm.
Because I mean, just a freak athlete, and
True.
you got to also think about people that can play coverage.
Yep.
It's like set up like 7-on-7.
Right.
I'm guessing it will be. So Lamar, running back. I'd go. There's a lot of them. Just thinking about
I don't know if there is a running back. I think it's 2 receivers, a tight end, a quarterback, and a center.
Okay.
So I think go with tight end.
Okay.
I don't think you can run the ball.
And this might be a hot take just because it's flag football.
Jake No.
I was going to say Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Just because it's flag.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't shown too much. I have a friend that's a huge fanboy of him, but I mean, just talking about a tight end that can play receiver, play coverage, I think Kyle Pitts is really good.
Yeah.
That's
a sneaky pick.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Just thinking athlete.
Yeah.
Receivers, Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
He's healthy.
Yeah.
Assuming healthy Tyreek.
Bass.
Yep. And then probably Jay Jettas.
Okay.
Or Jamar.
Yeah.
So that's those. And you said a center, which I'm just going to think of an athlete, I guess. One of the Bosa brothers.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. I would go with Nick Bosa if I were you. Yeah. Because Joey's always hurt, unfortunately. Because that makes sense. Because the one top 5 that I heard, the guy drafted Parsons as the center.
Yeah. That
So
could be one too.
like Bosa would be good for that, and he is ginormous.
Right.
Like seeing him in person, I've had some people or one person that told me they saw him in person. Like, holy crap! Like, this dude is enormous.
Yeah, just an intimidation factor.
Yeah. So you got Jay Jettas on the outside with Tyreek Hill. You got in the middle Kyle Pitts and Nick Bosa and Lamar at quarterback.
Yeah, and then running back would either be what's the guy from the Lions?
Jahmyr.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs or McCaffrey, assuming he's healthy.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, yeah, we'll use the running back as like an option because
Okay.
I can't tell you if I was right or not. Yeah. So if I'm going my top five, quarterback, I have to go with I like how you pick Lamar. I think that's a very smart pick. I'm going to go with someone similar. I'll go with Josh Allen.
Fair.
That's the size, the speed, if he's got to escape, and I don't know. I'll go the yin and the yang there.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
On the outside, I would want, I want to go different from what you pick. I don't want to take anyone that you pick. So it would be challenging. I think I got to put Jamar Chase. And then I'm going to go AJ Brown. I'm going to go AJ Brown because I heard some PFF stats on this dude. And it shocked me to my core for the past 3 years. I was like, he's pretty good. But I'm thinking downfield, wide open space like this. That's his strong suit. And you get to use Josh Allen's arm he's never had an arm like Josh Allen before. So I'm thinking that'll exploit his talents to the max. Yeah, so AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen at tight end. I'm gonna have to go. Ooh, man. Ooh. I don't want Kelsey. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't want somebody coming off an ACL injury like Hawkins. God, I know I'm missing like a tight end in there that's just like rock solid. I want somebody
Darren Waller?
No.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. He's been Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Bowers. I was like, I know there's a young gun I've been wanting to pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Brock Bowers. That dude is a freaking monster. Center, I'm going to go Micah Parsons. And then if I had to choose a running back, yeah, I do want a versatile guy. I don't want an older. I mean, I was going to say like Kamara, but I'll go Saquon.
Yeah.
That's
Saquon. A good one.
Okay, so you had Jay Jettas, Tyreek, Nick Bosa, Kyle Pitts, and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then I had Josh Allen, Jamar, AJB, Micah Parsons, Saquon, and
Brock
Bowers. I don't know why I'm getting that. Right.
Two solid teams.
Yeah, who's winning head to head in that?
I think we need more time.
Yeah, we're gonna need another hour.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, off the dome, I'd probably say your team wins.
Well, I got to pick first, so
yeah. I mean, off the dome, yeah. I mean, you got Lamar, man. Like Lamar in a flag football setting.
G code with Tyreek.
Yeah,
it's just straight line speed. We're not necessarily throwing the ball downfield like Josh Allen.
Right. True.
But they're not rushing the ball. They're going to play in coverage.
Lamar will sneak up on you though.
Deep
ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right. I think we covered all of our topics.
I think so.
Dude, we've done it.
Finally.
Yeah. And it's probably not the last time either.
I hope not.
Might get an in-season one. We got to do a destination interview.
Ooh.
Think we're going on vacation somewhere. We're in Tennessee. No.
Yeah, we can fly out to Turks and Caicos whenever.
Yeah, I think I agree. I got a visa. We could probably go down to like Costa Rica or something.
Take a little PJ. That's PJ, private jet.
PJ, yeah. Shut up, Marcel Reed just signed with a private jet company. He's one of the 5 quarterbacks in the NCAA that have done so. Just don't tip your plays before. All right. Yeah. Hey, if you get a chance to watch this video, I appreciate you staying to the end. You'll see it on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And you can follow us on our website, www.shatterthescript.com. And I'm sure we'll see him again later this year. We're going to probably redo the Challenge the Script episodes with college football, maybe 2026 in this new one. So back for another revival year and a comeback opportunity.
Hopefully we have a better performance. little camera shy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're 500 playing each other. Yeah, I'm not counting Madden.
Oh,
but,
okay. Then yeah, probably.
Yeah, and
so.
Madden, I'm fried. But
Right.
Yeah, right. All right. Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all. Jay, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Lifelong friend right here, boys. Check it out. Appreciate it. I'll see y'all guys later.